Yo, what's good? My quick crypto family and my coin factory family. We're back with your daily Casper crypto live stream, and I'm sure the FUD once more is reaching that high level. Once again, you can see Bitcoin down 4.08% on the daily time frame, Ethereum down 3.91%, Casper down 7.86%. Everything right now is pulling back quite considerably. Casper was down almost 10% earlier. Bitcoin was down over 5% earlier. Bitcoin actually made a new all-time high today, which is crazy. Bitcoin made a new all-time high, but it's been completely overshadowed by its current price action. And I've just made a video that I've just finished editing that I will be uploading later after this stream goes live. After the stream is done, I'll be uploading the video, giving a rundown about the current price action and also the biggest catalyst for Kaspa coming through, which in my belief is the Bitcoin maxi convergence. But we've got a lot of stuff to cover in today's stream as well, regarding the current, the now, the macro, the other fundamental developments happening, and then a lot of stuff for Kaspa as well. And despite, in particular, Kryptoni sentiment, I will be giving some Zebec updates as well, and look into Octa a little bit as well. Ultimately, the markets are coming back once again. This is not, for me, confirmation that the altcoin cycle or crypto cycle is done for. It's just once more being pushed back. And those who are part of my VIP, again, they would have seen us talk about the potential outcome, about the possibility of rate cuts actually being a bad thing. So maybe this data is actually good as well, because it's data which potentially stifle rate cuts happening next month could end up leaving for a longer cycle, because when we see rate cuts, that could be that final nail in the coffin. But again, those who are part of the VIP know the reasons why. If you don't know why, the information's there, institutional documentation that proves what we're talking about or leaking about in this stream. If you want to find out more, again, check out the VIP. You can join for free for 7 days or for a month if you sign up to BYDFI. They're currently doing another trading campaign where if you sign up through the affiliate link and check out the link that you can see on screen right now, you get a chance to win up to $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. That and a lot more. So if you want to find out more, again, links down below in the description, and also in my feed server. You can check it out on the affiliate links tabs as well. That being said though, welcome back again to the stream, everybody. Hope you're having a great day so far and looking forward to the content we'll get to in today's video or stream even. Crypto goes through first, brother. As always, welcome back to the stream, and yes, also first in smashing that like button. Great stuff, brother. Thank you very much for your support, and yes, if you enjoy the stream and content, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, and prepare for what is to come. This is just a temporary pullback before we see that major comeback, in my personal belief. Even the S&P was coming back quite considerably on that announcement, and now we're currently up at all-time highs. The stock market's at all-time highs, so evidently it's just crypto market just being, overreacting, being too emotional, because the S&P 500, another, it's a bigger market, stock market, they're currently at all-time highs. Despite the data right now. But, crypto's come down a lot more. That's why there's still a lot of, uncertainty around crypto for the most part, because again, you can see how volatile Bitcoin, Ethereum, these assets are when the stock market's not moving nearly as much. I know the stock market's a lot bigger comparatively, of course, but, it's still not really moving too much at all right now. And Bitcoin's down 4%, losing all the gains it made yesterday. Bitcoin was literally, as we saw earlier today, on the cusp of making an all-time, on the cusp of going on a breakout to 125k, and it fell short. Welcome back, Wing Hong, bro. Hope you're doing very well, brother. We moon yet? Hopefully soon, bro. Hopefully very, very soon. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. Indeed, welcome to the stream, my man. And you too, Greg. Yo to you too. What's up, Matthew? Again, everything is crashing. Everything is collapsing. Not to be that guy, but the terminology of crashing means 10% or more. So when people say something's crashing, typically it means, so anything that is coming between 0.1% up to 9.9%, 10%, that is a pullback. Even though 9.9% is a lot, it's a pullback. Anything above 10% is a crash, and then anything above like 50% is probably a rug pull, if you're going to put terminology on it. But I know what you mean, of course, not to be that guy. Yeah, everything's pulling back quite a lot right now, and it's off the negative macro data that, again, I'll cover briefly in this stream, and I'll cover it in a bit more of a streamlined function in the video I'm going to post later today. And equally, those who are part of my VIP already have a very detailed breakdown of what's happened and ultimately what we've got to wait out for the immediate future as well. Welcome back, bro. You're doing very, very well. Who will cry today about the price? Everybody, of course, even myself, but it's what it is. We live and we learn, we move forward. As Rothschild family says, the time to buy with blood in the water, blood in the streets. Now could be potentially a good time to buy. Who knows? Just CPI data not great. We'll buy more Casper in the meantime. Make those goals happen. Indeed, indeed. What's up, Noel, bro? You're doing very, very well. Yo, crypto family. Y'all think this dip will short-lived? Yes. Yes, I think this dip will be very... I mean, again, you've got more macro data and other developments that come out that could definitely cause pullbacks, but by and large, yes, this will be a short-lived correction, maybe the next day or two, and then you see the markets recover. You might see the markets end today around these values, around these prices, and then tomorrow start making a recovery already. I mean, the stock market's already recovering, so the crypto market will catch up. There's no doubt. I'm up on my Casper bags one more time in 2 weeks, so I wouldn't mind a couple of weeks of dip. Maybe you see it, a few more dips for a couple of weeks. Of course, that's when the Casplex mainnet should be releasing alongside Son Polinsky's yellow paper for the VProgs, alongside other developments as well. So we'll have to wait and see where the price will be. I'm optimistic it'll be a lot higher than it is right now, or at least it will be higher than it is right now in a couple of weeks. We'll have to wait and see though. Welcome back, Buffalo Bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. And you too, Kryptoni. It's fine. Stop this crashing stuff. I mean, yeah, it's a pullback. We've seen multiple pullbacks in the past for crypto and for Casper. We've seen bigger ones as well in the past, like this one here, for example. That was a total of a 40% pullback on that day for Casper. It ended up finishing only down about 5%, but that's almost 40% on that day. We've seen largers, and equally they've come back. It's ultimately nothing too much to worry about. Welcome, Cassio. It's been a while, brother. Hello, Casper fam. Indeed, welcome back, my band. And YouTube Banana Republic. Is there an actual website to track Jim Cramer being bullish on crypto? I mean, yeah, it's funny how Jim Cramer made a post about crypto being bullish, and then next thing you know, the market's crashing. It's so weird that he's perceived as the anti-market, but I can say with confidence he's not the reason why the market's correcting. It is the bad data, and I'll explain why in a moment. So are we buying or buying? I think we're buying. Welcome back, Loud Bro, doing very well, brother. And YouTube Octo Plus. Is the fact Casper is so cheap to trade the reason it dumps more than everything else? Yes. Because Casper's got a market cap of 2.5 billion, or even more, so it's less than that right now. If you check right now, Casper's got a market cap of 2.42 billion, 100 million 24-hour trading volume. Because Casper's quite a small asset, it means it's more volatile. I mean, if you look at Turbo, for example, Turbo's moving 11%. Algorand, 9%. I mean, if you look at where's Algorand right now on CMC or market cap wise? Algorand is similar market cap to Casper, down 9%. Look at Turbo, market cap of 300 million, down 11%. If you've got a smaller market cap, it means you're more volatile, more susceptible to big moving, which is also again why the stock market, why it's recovering right now. When the stock market when the news came out, the stock market was correcting. You can see if you're looking closer. Stock market was down about what? About 0.5%, if that, maybe like 0.3. Either way, I mean that's quite a lot for the stock market. Well, it's not quite a lot, but it's stock market's over $50 trillion. So 3%, a 0.3% move is quite a sizable amount of money compared to a 0.3% move in Bitcoin. But again, Bitcoin 4%. This is quite a lot. And if Bitcoin moves 4%, then everything else in retrospect should be moving a lot more than that as well. And Casper's down 8.5, Turbo down 12, Algorand down 9.5. So to answer your question, yes, our exchange is shorting it. Pretty much off the back of this data, the market makers and the exchanges will start shorting and liquidating longs just because they can make money off it, because they're the ones who control the market. So we'll get into that exactly now, and then get into the other posts as well. Here's your daily dose of Casper Hopium, as you should. Don't worry, brother, we'll get into all the content in a moment. And welcome back, GF and Baby Daddy once more, and everybody else to the stream, your Bingo Banger as well. Hopefully you're all having a great day, or will soon after we get into what is happening right now. So, yes, markets were looking great. Bitcoin surpassed all-time highs earlier today, and now look where we're at. Crazy to think what's just happened. Ethereum was about to surpass the all-time high it made in 2021. It was on the cusp of doing so, and of course data come out to flip that narrative. Again, I do break this down in a bit more detail in the video I'm going to be uploading about an hour from now. And then you can see Casper currently down to 9.5 cents, so 0.0905, down 8.74% on the daily time frame. Draw a fib retracement, if you will, and you can see that Kaspa right now is trading within that zone as we'd expect it to, though it's rebounding off that golden pocket. So if Kaspa can hold this value, which I'm hoping it can do, Kaspa will likely then start to rebound going tomorrow back up to this 10 cents, the 0.1 level of resistance, which is a very, very critical level, and it will be very important for us to either hold that or surpass that as well going forward. I heard someone mention that Crypto Galaxy, he does not know more than you. He didn't even know what crescendo was when asked about it. I'm not too well versed with Crypto Galaxy. I don't keep up with what he does. I know he's got a very big following. He's got a big community. He made it big off Casper early and then went to meme coins, and he's done well for himself. So as a businessman, respect to the guy. That's all I can say. As someone who's knowledgeable about Kaspa, I don't know if his knowledge is better than mine. And regarding KYC 20, it's probably better than mine. But in regarding the Kaspa project in itself, who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If he doesn't know about crescendo, then I'd argue he doesn't know more than me, but it is what it is. Either way, I would never throw too... I mean, there's a lot of controversy around him and other content creators around Kaspa who have acted in ill manners, if you will, to put it politely. I am not too well versed with everything that's happened. Some of the information is available in my Discord server as a community warning. But my kind of summary of CG is just, he got in early, he told a lot about Kaspa early, and then it was up to us there from that point onward to do our own research about it. So at least he got us in the right direction. If you still follow him, that's perfectly fine. I personally don't. He doesn't make much YouTube content either, and I don't want to pay for his VIP, which I do think is a bit extortionate. I mean, I know I have my own VIP, yeah, it's $50 a month, or you can for free for 7 days or for a month if you do certain things, but his is a lot more, and again, he's a lot more established, so I guess it's fair enough. Do you think it's optimal time to swap my ETH for Kaspa, or should I wait if ETH makes another leg up and then swap it? Ultimately, you're your own trader, PK, so I'm not a financial advisor. You do what's best for you. The way I'll point it out is Ethereum definitely has more room to run this cycle. How high it will go from this particular point might see a 3x. That's just what I've been seeing and hearing from other analysts who are saying like 15k or 10k Ethereum, so you might see a 3x from here. The question for you then is, Kaspa can make a 3x from here, so can Kaspa reach at least 30 cents? That's the question you've got to ask yourself in regards to ROI, but at the same time, you don't want to try and time the top, time the bottom. Those are very risky games to play. It ultimately comes down to using your investor and what you think will happen. I think Kaspa is due to make a move of sorts in the next 2 weeks. I think Ethereum will probably break all-time highs in a similar time fashion as well, if the macro data starts supporting that theory as well. Because right now you're seeing institutions through ETFs buying a lot of Ethereum right now, pumping that value. So Ethereum's going to go up higher. Kaspa, I think, will also pump soon enough as well. Swaps equals can tax. Also true. Also true. I'm way down today from holding A. It is what it is, but hopefully that will also turn very, very soon. So let's get into the content then, shall we? So to start off with, a bit of a report here from the KYC letter. I obviously covered it in my VIP, which we can see very, very briefly on screen here. Made a report about it so people know what's happening today. And ultimately, as we can see here, core CPI inflation is back above 3%. And PPI inflation is at the hottest since March 2022. That is the problem here. The reason why the market is reacting so badly is because we're seeing levels we have not seen since 2022 for PPI. And PPI has had a history of predicting future CPI. So people now are worried that you're going to see CPI shoot up massively next time, which is not a good thing at all. And during this whole time, Trump's still calling for a 300 basis point cut, meaning going from 4.25 to 4.5, where it's currently at, going from this current down to going down to 125 to 150. So he wants to see a 3% cut, Trump, which I think in one go is far too much. I think that would crash the economy. Not that I am an economist, so that's just speculation, I guess. But considering that inflation seems to be rising right now, if you did do a massive, massive cut to interest rates, that would send inflation spiraling up out of control. It might help the job market, but it'll still be very, very disastrous. So get into a bit here about how core CPI inflation is now above 3.1%, and both headline and core PPI inflation are above 3%, which is not it's not good at all. The question has shifted from if the Fed will cut rates, it is how many rate cuts will we get. As shown below, there's now a 94% chance of rate cuts in September. The market is pricing in a base case of 3 rate cuts. So because the markets are, and the macro is so out of whack right now, people are just like, the Fed's got to take action. They've got to do something now. Now, typically speaking, with inflation rising so much, what you tend to do is you hike rates to combat inflation. The problem is the job market is still struggling. Unemployment claims here, 224,000, so 224,000 unemployment claims versus the forecasted, which was slightly higher. So it's better. The unemployment claims was better than expected, but not by a massive sum. So unemployment and the labour market still very much stagnant, which is not good, and inflation started to go out of control. And the reason that's a problem as well, because people are now starting to pin tariffs as the reason. And again, I think it's too early to call that. But we'll find out in due time. Point being is the job market is still struggling, and inflation is going out of control. So people are now, what the Fed going to do? What can they do? Because if the job market was doing okay, when inflation is going out of control, you hike rates. But because the job market is still doing really, really badly, and inflation is going out of control, they haven't really got much wiggle room right now. They're threading a very thin needle right now, according to CME. We'll refresh the page right now, but I'd expect this data here to come a lot, for this percentage to go a lot further down. But right now it says 92.6%. We're going to see rate cuts, at least one, which I think is relatively surprising, truth be told. But that's kind of the sentiment now from the market. So we go back here. You can see in here, Trump says that's nothing. Trump is now calling for 300 basis point interest rate cut immediately. That's literally come out. Well, that came out last month, even now though. And he's still, of course, very frustrated that Jerome Powell's doing nothing, but maybe he had a reason not to do nothing. Because right now the markets seem to be, or the macro and the economy still to be very much struggling. This is clearing a path for Trump to get rate cuts, even if inflation is re-accelerating. He wants rates down to 1%. If this happens, mortgage rates will fall towards 3% and already record high housing prices will explode. In our view, home prices will surge to 10% plus in 1 year. The whole post I'll link in my Discord community, and I'll repost it on my Twitter page, which you can follow me on Twitter. Links to join are down in my description, or links to follow me are down in the description also here as well. But it ultimately just highlighting that we're currently, for the Fed, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place where they haven't really got much room to not cut rates because the job market's still struggling, but also the inflation's getting out of control. But if they don't do anything, then we're going to stagflation and then we're just screwed completely. So what happens next month is still going to be very, very interesting because the sentiment's still very much we're going to see rate cuts. People are now, the FUD's cooling down a little bit and people are now going to, recover, I'm sure, starting tomorrow. Next week will be very, very important with some very important macro data coming out and the Fed speeches happening next week, which we'll be covering then as well. And of course, I'll let my VIPs know when it happens in real time and what they're saying. And that'll give us a better ideology of what the Fed plan to do for September, which will ultimately, size up the market. Are we getting the markets pricing in rate cuts or not? And then just to reiterate once again, that institutional document, which I have leaked a few times on stream. I leak it again right now. My VIPs have read through this already numerous times because it's a very, very insightful document here. It's from Sigmund Bank. Highlights here. In fact, I'll even showcase the point, which again, you can find out the whole document in the VIP. Join for a week for free, and you can check it out for free therefore if you wanted to. Talks about rate cuts here. Does the United States need rate cuts? And the long and short of it is, it says here, or somewhere around here at least, when I read through it, it said basically that the rate cuts could end up being contradictory. It could be counterproductive. So ultimately, and that's what I've been saying, to my VIPs for a while now, rate cuts actually may be a bad thing. So arguably, this negative macro data, if the Fed are therefore going to have to hold strong once more, that can give us a longer cycle. Because the moment they start cutting rates, it's the moment that the Fed effectively confirm we are now in a very bad situation. We need to do something now. And that therefore may cause more short-lived FOMO to much more FUD following quickly after that as well. So the longer we don't see rate cuts, the better off. And that also supports the theory from Sygnum Bank, not me, the YouTuber, from Sygnum Bank, an institution who's running these markets, saying the market therefore may elongate further into 2026. If you want to find out more, again, VIP is available, link down below in the description, also on my homepage as well. And again, the market, despite these negative sentiments, we are still seeing investors and institutions still getting more and more involved in this space, which is really good news. Citigroup explores custody and payment services for stablecoins and crypto ETFs. One of the big American banks, fantastic stuff. Google has acquired 8% stake in Bitcoin miner TeraWulf in a $3.7 billion deal. Also extremely big news. And then in other news, which I do mention in the video that I'm going to be posting later on as well, which this is quite an old post from February, but this is Plan B, one of the most notorious Bitcoin maximalists. He transferred his Bitcoin into the Bitcoin ETFs. And for me, this is a very, very big inflection point as Bitcoin OGs, Bitcoin maxis are now realizing that Bitcoin's original purpose as a peer-to-peer medium of exchange is going away. It is not possible anymore. Therefore, if you're holding Bitcoin, it's becoming your new 401k retirement plan. It's your new, the same way he's treating Bitcoin ETFs and Bitcoins, the same way he treats equities and bonds, just holding it for the long term to make passive gains, not to utilize it as a form of currency, which is what Kaspa is trying to achieve with the Bitcoin consensus. Proof of work, fair launch, no pre-allocations, decentralized. And he got a lot of backlash for that, understandably. And the video I'll make later goes into more detail about that, but again, just highlighting again what's coming to Kaspa. You've been seeing it continuously, more and more Bitcoin maximalists coming to Kaspa, and I think that's a very, very major catalyst that people aren't taking into account. Bitcoin maxis hate everything. They hate XRP, they hate Ethereum, they hate every altcoin. That's why they call every altcoin a scam. But some Bitcoin maxis are now starting to accept Kaspa because they're researching into it and realizing it's not a scam. They're hearing who Satoshi Nakamoto is, and they know that he himself, Tom Polinsky is, and they know he himself is someone who was in Bitcoin in the early days, who was trying to provide proposals for new architecture to help value grow on Bitcoin, and he was denied. That's why he built Kaspa. So stay tuned to that video later on because it goes into more detail about it, and ultimately why I think Bitcoin Max will be the reason why Kaspa ends up exploding this cycle and for years to come as well. I mean, Marathon Digital Holdings mining Kaspa, only other altcoin in history, is also a big catalyst for that as well. So stay tuned for that because there's a lot more to come out, and then we can get to the Kaspa content in just a second. Before I do, let's get into more of the questions quickly first and foremost. So where am I at right now? I'm here with Just Do It, indeed. Bearish, just in bearish right now, but I'm sure it'll come back in due time. It's crazy that we've had 3 rate cuts in Australia already this year. I mean, even the United Kingdom cut rates are just coming. The last decision from the UK was to cut rates. The Bank of England just cut rates recently. And the European Union, they've cut rates 8 times more than the Fed or whatever. Like, United States Federal Reserve is just really, really far behind as always. You know? Tired of it, holding 2.5 years, selling at all-time highs. I mean, I'm sorry you feel that way, brother. If that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do. I still think we've got a lot more legs left in this cycle. If you want to sell at all-time highs, then go for it. I mean, you make your profit or you break even. That's perfectly fine. I personally am holding long-term. I'm going to make profit this cycle. And I have made profit this cycle already. And I'm going to hold longer-term as well. Because I do think that this cycle right now is massively unpredictable, more so than ever before, because of institutions. Therefore, it's hard to judge what's really going on, because they're the ones who control the market. And the documents that I covered to my VIP suggest they want the market to continue growing more and more and outperform the stock market every year, at the very least. And then some. Like, they're trying to adopt the technology into the back end of their systems. And I think Casper is going to be an integral part of that in the future. So, I mean, again, that was me I'm not trying here to tell you to don't do that. You've got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. If you can't hold Casper anymore, or you can't hold crypto anymore, perfectly fine. Just, again, do your own research, trade on discretion. Me, I'm going to continue holding because I think Casper's going to shock a lot of people. I think a rally back up to all-time highs will be quite a tough one, but it will happen. And once it surpasses all-time highs, it will be quite explosive. You've seen other projects already in the past, your Solanas, your AVAXs, your Cardanas, your Ethereums. I don't see why Casper can't do it either. And especially if the cycle doesn't elongate into 2026, as institutional documentation confirms, then I don't see why we can do it either. And that would be better for Casper as well. Yeah, FOC minutes is 20th of August. That's going to be a very, very important day as well. Remember, the amount of catalysts coming up for Casper is truly mind-blowing and historical. If Casper finds adoption quickly, I really don't think people in general are bullish enough. No one's bullish right now. Everybody's very, very exhausted for the crypto market, and especially for Casper right now. So bullish sentiment's gone out the window, and it's fine. It's expected, and it's unfortunate. I'm not here to FOMO you. That's not my point here. That's not my role here. I am simply an educator. This is educational content. I provide you information on the market, what's happening, and Casper. It's up for you to believe what you want to believe about Casper. It's going to do very well, it's going to do very badly. That's completely up to you. I'm very bullish on Casper. I've seen the catalyst coming through. I know what's coming through, and I'm hopeful that's going to affect the price in a positive way. But no one has a crystal ball, so nobody knows truly. And because this market has been so strenuous, people are just tired now. And that's fair enough. I guess to counter that point, what I can say is Rome was built in a day. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a lot of resilience. And I think, for the most part, we've all proved that here. Holding Casper has been a long haul, but when you see what's coming out, and this is just the recent update, if you see what's coming out, I think Casper's going to end up shocking a lot of people very, very soon. We are 2 weeks or so away from smart contracts. That could be a big deal if Cashbacks get it right, and I pray they do. I do not want a repeat of KYC 20 because that would be a disaster. Strange thing was when the UK and US were raising rates, we held off and am late in doing so. I mean, yeah, honestly, I don't know what the UK and US are doing. I think both nations are completely chopped. I don't like the UK. I don't like Mr. Miles. Don't know why that's relevant, but I just wanted to say that. But no, I mean, actually, there's actually reports going constantly right now. A lot of people are right now leaving the UK, and I'm not surprised. I would be one of them once my Casper bag actually makes me some money. Because they are all a scam. I mean, yeah, all the other projects in this space are all a scam. You know, in retrospect, they are all a scam. Although again, it depends how you depict that. So in that regard, then yes, but Bitcoin Max is starting to accept Casper as actually an alternative, you know. So if you see a bigger pullback, what do you think the bond for Casper is? 6.5 cents, probably down here. I'd be surprised if Casper comes below 6 cents again. I like to believe Casper right now in a gradual uptrend. The double bottom here, a higher low here. So I think if Casper to come down, you probably see it come down to here and then rebound, unless you see an absolute massive black swan, because that's unexpected. If that happens, then, you know, everything collapses, Casper goes below. You can't predict those sort of things. So it's hard to say. I think if the chart patterns holds up, for the most part, then Casper will, worst case, come down to 6.5. But even then, I think that's unlikely. I think right now, the market will make a recovery. If the macro data starts, you know, looking a bit better coming forward, you see the markets make a recovery in the next few days. As the stock market's already making a recovery, it's self-holding strong. The M2 money supply is at all-time highs as well, which is very, very good. Worst case, Casper comes back down maybe to... You might see Casper find support around 8 cents like it did down here. You saw this like retracement down to here, which I said would probably going to happen. I did mention that in stream actually, how if Casper keeps coming down due to the macro... this is the hawkish stance from the Fed that caused this pullback here, which caused this 30% pullback here. And I stated that currently 8 cents was a very, very strong resistance and support for Casper, as proven on all these charts. We saw Casper consolidate for a week or 2 weeks. So we should see a rebound there, and we did. So that is evidently another very critical level of support for Casper at 8 cents. So you see Casper come back down 9 cents right now, worst case 8 cents. Well, a worst case 8 cents. Absolute black swan scenario, you see it come down to maybe 6.5 or maybe lower. But for the most part, I still think Casper is... I think this is going to be kind of a day or 2 day thing. And then you'll see... I mean, if you look at the Forex Factory right now, tomorrow there is, you know, retail sales, which there aren't too... People don't pay too much attention to those ones. In particular, it's more so PPI, CPI, PCE, unemployment claims, and the Fed reports. The one to take account for next week would be FOMC minutes on 20th. The unemployment claims again on the 21st. And also then the PMI I think I missed it. PMI. Where is it? Yeah, PMI, which will also be quite important. And that will also shift narrative. But I think you'll see a bit of a pullback today, and then it'll probably start recovering over the weekend, as history is probably showing us as well. There's no bad macro news or reason for Bitcoin to drop 4% today. There literally is. It's literally this. This is the bad macro news. You saw core PPI was meant to go up 0.2%, and it went up 0.9%. It went above 3%. You saw the PPI, which is normally predicting future CPI inflation, massively shoot up. That's the reason why Bitcoin is dumping. That's why everything was dumping. That's why the stock market came down so heavily earlier, or quote unquote heavily. It came down quite a bit earlier, and now it's recovering. Crypto market will recover soon enough as well. But definitely Wall Street and big, market makers are taking profit and trying to shake you out of your bags again. But I'm sure we'll be fine. September, I think, still looking very bullish for the most part. It's not time to open the beer yet, unfortunately not. FOMOing me harder. I'll FOMO you all in a short moment. What's up, Quarter Crawler, bro? Welcome back to Shima Man. No, they are all a scam if they're not proof of work and fair launched. Yeah, okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not also going to open that can of worms, because while I'm not saying you're wrong, I do also cover other projects in this space, because I do see them as potential ways to make capital, to make gains, whether it be your XRPs, your Solanas, your Suis, your Turbos, whatever it may be. Now, in regards to absolute future, if you're talking like 15 years in the future and they're like their role they're going to be playing and whatnot, then yes, they'd be scams in a sense, because Casper has the true sovereignty element and decentralization. It's fair launch, so it's by and large, therefore it is fair and it's not a scam. Everything else has some form of insider trading that does make it unfair and therefore a scam. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just also not going to completely put down every other project in this space, because I do talk about them occasionally, because I do see ways to make money, and of course we're here fundamentally to make money at the same time as looking for the future of money, which in our God, therefore is Casper. There's the best opportunity out there. Speaking of which, just because I can, Zebec currently at 0.0046, and it did, as you can see, just retrace below that golden fib right here. As we said, it just retraces below this support here around 0.00467. If you see some more pullbacks, it'll probably come back down to the golden pocket down here. We have, of course, some updates in that regard. We've seen apparently it's going to be some form of partnership regarding Zebec and Uphold, or some form of, maybe it's an exchange listing or a partnership. I'm not sure if Zebec actually do offer, or Uphold do offer Zebec. I haven't double checked that just yet, but there's going to be some form of working together on listing or whatever Uphold and Zebec, which is good for Zebec. And equally, there's going to be an AMA taking place also on the 20th of August. In the United States, you've got KotaPay, a division of First International Bank and Trust, powers the fiat side of Zebec operations, enabling seamless money movement for our product and partners. In 2024 alone, KotaPay processed $103 billion in payroll funds for 107,000 clients across all 50 states, and they're going to be talking about their partnership on the 20th as well. So Zebec seems to be cooking, a lot more to be coming out in that regard as well. So it's interesting stuff all around. I think Zebec, again, is a project that, is it completely safe? I mean, again, you have insiders and whatnot, so take that with a pinch of salt, do your own research, but I think Zebec's one that can make gains this cycle, hence why I'm looking into it. And I mentioned it alongside with my VIPs at the time. I got into Zebec around this value here. So even with the pullback we've seen right now, still currently up in that, because we were able to analyze the market and see what's going to go. And it may come back a bit further. If that's the case, then I might scoop a little bit more so, because I still think Zebec is one that will end up making a push up. Not financial advice, but based on their partnerships and also based on the fact that they've got, they're part of these policy summits with these big governments, the United Kingdom, the United States, MiCA and whatnot. They're in the right spaces to see more adoption. They did have a pullback off the back of their CEO, I think, being let go recently. which I'll be making a video probably that this weekend. But right now, Zebec is actually the only asset seemingly, at least on my trading view that I'm following, that's currently up 1.7% on the daily time frame. Interesting stuff to see right now. I think Zebec again can see some more gains this cycle. We are still so early. Like it's crazy to still say that, but we are still early in crypto. Bitcoin is nearing all-time highs. Ethereum's nearing all-time highs. XRP is about 20% off all-time highs, 15% off all-time highs. Sui still, like, we're so close, and the big catalyst, the altcoin catalyst that again is mentioned in documents like these. Altcoins, what will cause that? Again, that's available in my VIP, so we know what we're looking out for. We know what the catalysts are, so we can therefore prepare and therefore allocate accordingly. So again, the catalysts are still coming. There's nothing has changed. The institutions who are running the markets are still very bullish on crypto, proven by these developments happening right now today as well. We need to buy back in at 5 cents on my error gains. I would be surprised if Kappa goes to 5 cents again, but who knows? Who knows? Again, anything can happen. No one's got a crystal ball. Whilst it is, here we go. Amen. We can stack forever and just keep accumulating more and more. I don't even think we go this low, but who knows? I guess 7.5 to 8 cents after smart contract release. How long until we get positive price action? No one truly knows. There'll be so many catalysts taken into account. It will be the release of Casplex mainnet, the smart contracts, followed by potential stablecoin launching on there, which we should be seeing Circle and Tether launch soon enough, bridging over there. And then, if it becomes native or not, depends on the success of that and how good the mainnet and smart contracts run. You have to see more dApps building there, more volatility, more action, more demand taking place there. If you see more of that stuff happening, more building, and, nothing too negative or anything negative happening, then you'll see Casper grow more in adoption. You see the miners turn back on as well, that help the project out as well, incentivizing more incentive to mine Casper as well. I think that Casper is still an extremely undervalued project, and I think smart contracts could be a catalyst for that, but you still got to wait for a lot more to come through, especially the other crypto developments, your rate cuts, your ETFs, whatever it may be, that's also highlighted in the document that my VIPs know of. And then of course you've got tier 1 listings that we're still waiting for, which will come in due time. I think Wall Street and all dumping Bitcoin today and buy Casper later. I mean, I don't think they're buying Casper. They definitely are probably contributing to the current price action, and then will buy people's dips, It's going to make people money too. That's why they exist. True. You can buy Zebec on Uphold, so I don't know what that's going to be about. Probably then some form of partnership or deal with them. You know how like Uphold currently endorse Casper in that sort of sense? Might be the similar case. Scams, all scam. Yeah, I know how you all feel, but it's my channel. It's our community, but my channel. Joking. Anyways, you're welcome, brother. AW, hope you're doing very well, and you're welcome for the reply. That being said, let's get into the Casper content now. I'm no Kryptonian. Everyone's surely waiting for that, because that is our community. That's what we believe in the most. We have finally got an update from Dr. Heisberg regarding that Uphold Casper 2.0 post, and a bit of good and bad news. I would say more so bad news, actually. After edging the whole Casper community for almost one day, backshots have finally arrived. Dr. Martin Heisberg wrote that the Casper 2.0 report will be soon published for retail. Some Casper OGs are already getting involved, so his says, report is available to our paying customers first, but we will still have a retail version and public interviews from VIP Casper OGs soon. Watch this space. So we'll be finding out about the report in due time, but evidently those who are paying customers, insiders, are the ones who are finding out more so ahead of time. So now, in a sense, I have a similar situation myself in my VIP, I guess, so I can't, downplay it too much or talk badly too much in a sense, because, I do highlight information to my VIPs ahead of time about some big developments in the space, so there's a benefit of that. But at the same time, the way he publicly announced it made it seem like he's going to be making a report that everyone can read on the 12th, and it's not come out. So therefore, what exactly has been discussed in that, I'm not entirely sure. I'd be surprised if anything that we don't know of, but the report eventually made available to us. We don't know when, but it has, got people being like, this is a bit ridiculous, why, like, these people can, get ahead of us and dump on us, sort of thing, that, current instead of flying around. So yeah, I'm a bit conflicted about it. I can't talk too negatively on it because again, I technically have a similar case with my VIPs, my Patreon, my What page, where people who are part of that, they get information ahead of time, they benefit more from that. So it's an incentive therefore to sign up to it. But at the same time, I wouldn't also, make a post like this, and then not showcase it on the 12th to everybody. But again, I guess that's just what sells. We'll find out about it in due time. Hopefully it'll be insightful. If not, is what it is. In other news and in other very insightful stuff, Casplex apparently going to be joining an AMA session to their Chinese community on the 23rd of August, which is on the Friday, I believe. The Saturday. On the Saturday at 8 p.m. Beijing time. The team there, the Casplex team, will be sharing updates on how the testnet is progressing and discussing what's coming up with the mainnet release, which will be the following week after that. So quite a critical time as well, truth be told. And of course, they did say, which I did ask but didn't read properly, they'll make sure to share key updates and insights from this session with the broader community afterwards. How soon after, we don't know, but we'll find out probably sometime after. I want to say maybe the Monday, so 25th, what updates have been given from Casplex, how the testnet's gone, and what the mainnet's going to be introducing, and ultimately all that stuff as well, which is interesting stuff all around. And the developments of Casper are still growing more and more, seeing more stuff being built. Super Typo here, one of the integral parts of Casper, I guess people who have been quite prevalent in the beginning stages. So come help us improve the list of known Casper addresses. I've deployed a small app for submitting address label suggestions here. So of course, as you look at the addresses right now, you can see there's so many addresses in this thing right now. We don't know who Wallet 2 are. Wallet 4, we don't know who Wallet 4 is, but if you look at Wallet 4, you can see a lot of their transactions seem to come from Kraken. So it's speculated by, proof evidently that it's probably a Kraken dedicated wallet. So this is Wallet 4 here. You've got, Wallet 3 that equally seems to be, actually we don't know who this wallet is, not really any, it seems to be, I don't know, it seems to be a KuCoin sort of wallet from the looks of things. So again, it could be a case therefore people can just help out Super Typo and other people in the community to just put some potential suggestions, and then they go through and try and fact check it and backtrack to see the addresses of interest be exchanges, mining pools, market makers, etc. Personal addresses will not be accepted for inclusion. So it just basically means that the community is going to come together to basically just vote on what these wallets are, putting tags on this one being Kraken's most likely, this one likely being KuCoins, and so on and so forth. Because it's helpful for us therefore to see a tag to know more so what the wallet's about. This wallet here has added another 2.5 million Casper today, which is also very interesting. Again, still stacking Casper. Came from a Gate wallet, but we don't think it to be Gate's address because this wallet has scooped a lot from Gate, from Bybit, from I think it was KuCoin back in the day as well. These three. Right now it's seemingly Gate, so maybe it's actually a Gate wallet. I don't think it is. Could be seen a lot more like Bybit back here. Back time last month, or at the beginning of, actually no, was it last month? Just double checking. No, this was earlier. This was last week. Yeah, so last week they got off Bybit, and now this week they're getting off Gate. So yeah, unlikely it's a Gate wallet. Don't know who this wallet 2 is, but they've now got $78 million worth of Casper, and just to showcase again Casper's superiority in regards to speed and whatnot, it saw a total inflow of 2 million. Casper, 2.5 million Casper, but you saw a lot of outflows and a lot of inflows. Total amount of transactions was almost 21 million Casper, so almost $2 million worth of Casper transacted, and that's how much it cost, and that's how quick it was. So again, this is just proof of how efficient and how quick and how cheap Casper's current protocol is right now. Of course, that will change and constantly fluctuates, but it's indicative of what Casper is there to be as a peer-to-peer electronic currency, while still having true sovereignty of your assets, which is a big deal. Addresses are going up right now. Casper is still growing more in adoption. You can see 3 mil from Wallet 8, 1 mil from Wallet 9. Seeing some big outflows from the big wallets known as Gates, Krakens, BitGets and whatnot, and then big inflows from these wallets here as well. So you're seeing again Casper still being stacked more and more, which is reassuring stuff. And you might see more tags coming up very soon that give more insight on what these wallets are and who they are as well. In other news, which is also just again in the nature of building, Capital does have a slightly unfortunate announcement to make that directors had an issue 2 days back. If you restart the container, it would have failed. So they're still trying to do updates to Casper Coffee right now. which is the app where you can kind of, donate, similar to, I guess like Patreon, but you can pay with Casper in a sense, which I'm looking to probably do in the future. But effectively, issues arose where you managed to start it by bootstrapping, and then hence you lost the entire database. And all users who previously had their profile created are now deleted. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, it can be fixed in the near future, and these issues will no longer occur. But we're still in the early days of building right now, so you can't take, you learn from all the mistakes you make at the end of the day. So hopefully this will be a mistake that's made and therefore learnt from, and will not happen again in the future. Now, to get the last 24 hours for Casper, some big updates here. Again, we mentioned the rate cuts, a massive increased chance of rate cuts now. Currency Solutions have now partnered up with Casper.com to release its wallet on the Apple Store with Google Pay, and Google Pay, which is, very, very big. So that Casper.com will be having, and currency will, be available on these app store stuff very, very soon, which is, big stuff for DEX and whatnot. Wallet 2 again, add 2.5 mil Casper. Bitcoin surpassed Google, becoming the 5th largest asset in the world by market cap despite the current pullbacks, which did happen, I guess after the pullback. Now it's probably not that high, but it did make a new all-time high today. Casper Facts started a new series that aims to oversimplify how nodes work. Shout out to Casper Facts for that. You've got this individual here, Alex, who is releasing the Casper MCP server, which I believe is the guy is trying to build the MCP server here, which is like an AI bot for Casper basically, which is really, really interesting. And also the one building that VRoom, that so you've got a VRoom here, so it's like another social media platform. It's not, you got someone building K right now, which is the X equivalent of Casper, and then you got this VRoom here, which is another social media platform, but also trying to build an AI bot as well. So people are building interesting stuff for Casper, which is, again, you can't knock it. Casper Wallet releases their new website. Casper Comms drops the next installment of the Casper Accelerated Here series, and Casper Daily releases an article about the Monero attack, which I have not looked into, so I won't be talking about it in this stream. Maybe tomorrow, although just disclosure right now, Friday, Saturday, so tomorrow and Saturday most definitely I won't be streaming because I am busy unfortunately that day, so I do apologize for that. Friday, tomorrow, 50-50. I don't know just yet because I'm going to be preoccupied with some family stuff from around midday, and I don't know when I come back from that, so I need to find out, and when I find out I'll let you all know. In other news, again, Casper.com, again, talking about them releasing a new app. They also now got a new Robin wallet for all Casper. You can send, receive, and trade Casper, KRC20 tokens, NFTs, and domains with your fastest, most beautiful Casper wallet here, which is really, really cool stuff. Again, the building happening right now with Casper is continuing to happen more and more, which is also why, again, Casper price action struggling. I accept that. I'm not ignorant to that, but the difference is a lot of these projects, when they're struggling in price action, they're not really doing much to innovate or build, and they're just kind of falling off and dying slowly. Casper is building more than ever before and continuing to build continuously to the point where the price is down, but as long as you continue building, continue showing up, the price will come back. Because the adoption's coming back. Again, you're seeing the addresses going up more and more. You're seeing the addresses go up more and more right here. You're seeing Bitcoin masters getting more and more involved. So the developments here is going to incentivize people to get back into the space as well. And then as a final update, which is also a very interesting one, kind of calling into the Bitcoin stuff, which shout out to Tony for posting this in our community, forwarding it from the Casper Discord server. Effectively, there's been a proposal from the Casper community right now, which the proposal, as I am now trying to show you, about the Bitcoin Casper Atomic Swap platform. Sounds very, very interesting. So we're basically going to get into it. I'm going to summarize what I spoke about here from the Discord community here. Basically talking about a proposed proof of concept decentralized exchange platform for Bitcoin Casper swaps. It's currently live on mainnet based on pure atomic swap technology. This trustless solution removes the need for centralized exchanges while preserving both networks' core principles of decentralization and permissionless access. This, for me, if goes according to plan and is good, would be, again, one of the biggest catalysts for Casper. Because we're seeing Bitcoin maxis starting to take notice of Casper, which I think is big. If they can seamlessly swap their Bitcoin into Casper without having to rely on a centralized entity, that would be even bigger and more incentive for them to do so. The current problems they're facing right now is the centralized exchanges with KYC and AML compliances, the trust in third parties who can freeze funds, high fees and slow processing times, and a single point of failures. So the solution of this would be the atomic swap. The atomic swap. So basically how it would work, which they do highlight here as well, is the users request Bitcoin for Casper exchange from a market maker. The market maker creates Lightning Network invoice, which includes a secret hash. The market maker locks Casper in contract with secret hash. User pays Lightning invoice, reveals secret. A user uses secret to unlock Casper from contract, and exchange completes in 40 seconds. That's kind of how the process would work. So you can kind of swap your Casper, swap your Bitcoin into Casper. And it also would work bi-directionally as well. So you could watch your Bitcoin to Casper and equally your Bitcoin to Casper and Casper back into Bitcoin as well. It's still, again, kind of being drawn up here. I'll leave a link to this GitHub, which is all available in the Casper community, and also thanks to Tony as well for putting it in here, but I'll post it again in the community so people who know what it is we're talking about here. But it's kind of what they're working on. I think it's a very, very big deal, knowing the Bitcoin masses are coming in quicker and quicker as well, and looking at Casper. If they have a way to keep decentralization and keep without having to rely on these, centralized entities, third-party exchanges, and just go swap their Bitcoin to Casper quite seamlessly, it's going to be even more incentive for them to do so. So it's great stuff to see, and again, more reason why I think Casper is going to surprise people this cycle as Bitcoin might start taking more and more notice of Casper and what they're building as well. My channel, fair enough. Fair enough. I agree with you, but I even made money off that mantra rubbish to buy Casper. Krypton is not saying you can't make money on other stuff. He's just saying Casper's the best out there and it's risky doing to anything else. That's what Kryptonian's whole message really is. Hang on, I'm paying an uphold customer. Well, if you aren't paying an uphold customer, then yeah, I don't know how you find it, but let us know, please, because I want to know what's being said. And yeah, it's cool says, hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Cas.fi site. This website here is kas.fyi, Kaspa. That's the site where you can find all the information on. If paying uphold, can you check? Yeah, if you're paying uphold customer, can you please check that out? Because we'd love to know. You can't put anything on it. Maybe it's worth them reaching out to Dr. Potter Hardwork then saying I'm a paying customer, but I haven't received access to it then, because I'd like to know. How many Casper did Marathon Digital have when they started dumping it last year, and how much they have left? Good question. Let's see if I can find it in my community. I can find. Okay, so if I go into my useful websites and scroll up to the top, Marathon's SEC filings are here. So if we go view all filings, so the one that was so that was the last one they did. Which if we look at that here, Control F, other digital assets, which is regarding to Casper, are held with the intent of funding operating expenses and are including the current assets. So yeah, talking about using Casper therefore for that reason. So they're currently holding that much right here as of the 3rd of June 2025. And they were holding, they even said here, Casper here, they were holding Casper, they're holding 34,800,000 at the end of 2024. So originally, at one point they had over 100 million, and at the end of 2024 they went down to 34 million, and now they have actually more. If you're looking at it on a cost basis, at least I think that's the case. I think they have a bit more now, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken. That's the quantity they have right now of Casper, which is 34 million Casper. The cost basis is 5.6, that's 5.8. So that's kind of what they have right now. So the cost basis is a little bit more now So I'd like to believe, therefore, they probably have more Casper now than they did beforehand. So they're stacking more Casper a little bit. They had over 100 million at one point. Then they had 34 million at the end of 2024. And now they have, I think, slightly more. I mean, I think they must have more. Because even if if the cost basis is based on the actual value of Casper, therefore, well, Casper, as of right now, compared to 2024 December, end of December was around here. So Casper was actually lower value than it was back then. So Marathon are definitely holding more Casper now than they were end of December. So yeah, that's how much they're holding right now from the scheme of things. So that's to answer your question. All Casper has to do is get Tier 1 exchanges and smart contracts, and today's drop, thanks to Trump's tariffs. There's no guarantee, and there's nothing. Investor sentiment is worried about the tariffs being the reason why inflation is rallying so hard, but there's no confirmation of such. Actually, it looks like it's more so institutional spending than actual tariffs. So it's too early to say that tariffs are the reason for this current PPI inflation rally. I do agree that Casper getting Tier 1 listings would be big for the price action, and smart contract equally would be quite big. But yeah, we're early ultimately. This is the next step to making the 1.1 million Satoshi wallet the Casper liquidity. Only Satoshi himself, Zomps, would propose such a thing. Oh no, I can't use Lightning. Wrong. They are both UTXO based. There should be ability to bridge without Lightning. I mean, again, this is the part. You can check it out for yourself. The GitHub. It is available in my community already, and also in the Casper proposal community as well. So you can check it out for yourself. This is kind of the proposal they're putting through right now. This is a proposal for a truly decentralized exchange platform between Bitcoin and Casper. Looking like they're kind of utilizing the Lightning network for some reason, but yeah. So Son Patoshi will likely sell all his Bitcoin soon and pump Casper to the moon. That would be something. Or he will connect the wallet. That also could be something as well. That would be an interesting thing to see. I couldn't say no to that, of course. But yeah, I mean, that being said, that'll be it for today's Casper Crypto live stream. That's all the content we have for today. Again, the market's looking very, very bad right now. But Scott Bessent opened his big dumb mouth on live TV and screwed up, saying that the government isn't going to buy any Bitcoin for strategic reserve without clarifying that they will be acquiring. I mean, that's also, yeah, that's also a reason. So yeah, you've got the macro and also Scott Bessent talking about not buying Bitcoin, which ruins the idea of a Bitcoin reserve. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I think he probably did it on purpose as well. I think he probably did it on purpose because, again, they want to make money, and they evidently, and I'm not saying it's in regards to, I'm saying it's in regards to smart money. The smart money, the higher ups, they don't care about insider trading. Despite it being illegal, they don't care about it. They don't. BlackRock didn't mention a Bitcoin ETF. In fact, they said they're not got any plans for Bitcoin ETF for years and for months, and even the week prior to them launching a Bitcoin ETF, they said they weren't doing it. They don't care. They will not tell you the truth ever. And even in a case where they'll say things to dump the value. Is what it is, right? It's a dog-eat-dog world. What matters more so is documents like these from institutions that they don't show you. They tell to their institutional clients that we cover in our VIP, which is why I'm not worried about the short term in this regard. I listen to the short term so I can trade and do myself accordingly, but long term, things still look really, really good. You want to find out more, again, the VIP is available. You can see documents like this from Signet Bank, from KPMG, from PwC, from Deloitte, from JP Morgan. The whole works, right? We've got hundreds of documents in there that tell you what's coming this year, what they're looking at, keeping you locked in and knowing what's coming, not just the mainstream headline that kind of lies to you all the time. Okay, well that might also help alleviate the dumping pressure from the market right now. We'll have to wait and see. That being said, though, thank you all for watching once again. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you want to know about crypto and Casper and other developers and catalysts, check out the free community. Equally, the VIP to be even more locked in, up to date about what's coming, from alpha information to weekly live streams to trade alerts and educational videos and so much more. Equally, check out BYDFI, all available on there, and stay tuned for the video I'll be posting in the next 30 minutes or so coming to the channel. That being said, have a great day, good evening, and good night, family. And I'll see you all maybe tomorrow. If not, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.